Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Tarot by Janine. How's everybody doing? I think we need a smudge. It's been a crazy couple of weeks. We need a smudge. Yeah, there's a lot of fear pouring out there, a lot of things being circulated. It's just that's what you expect right at the end game, is what I figure. It ramps up every once in a while. You get all the fear porn just moving around. But I think I chose some good questions. I couldn't obviously do every single thing that was on that list. It was awesome questions, but I'll keep a lot of those in mind. We're going to look today so today is October 30th. Wow, right? October 30th. And we are looking at, 2022, just in case we need the year here, October 30th, 2022. And we're going to look at the stolen Commonwealth money, because that affects a lot of countries in the world. So obviously, if the monarch or the British monarchy is capitulated, which I believe they have many years ago, at least 2 or 3, if not sooner, and a lot of things are just playing themselves out. What happens to the Commonwealth money? Because I believe they've confiscated all of the royalty or the Commonwealth, all of the monarch's finances. That's what I believe. I think there's all kinds of things that sort of hint towards that, like different properties up for sale, and the royal family is not living in any of their properties. Quite interesting. Okay, so all of that's really interesting. So we want to look at what happens to that Commonwealth money that was confiscated. Will it be returned to the people? Then we want to look at the EBS. We got to do it again, guys, because, this is something we've been waiting for and I believe is really necessary. So we want to look at, emergency broadcast, and there's other ways letters we could use for it, but we're going to call it the EBS, emergency broadcast system. Are we going to have that still go off? And then martial law to follow, or maybe martial law first and then the EBS. Not sure which one comes first. Truth coming out for all. So disclosure, is that still happening? Because some people are even saying they felt a time shift. So we could be on another timeline as of last night. Wow. Okay. So we're going to look at that. Is that still going to be a thing? EBS, martial law, disclosure. Then we're going to look at the Trump arrest, because according to Juan 07, it was supposed to happen on Wednesday. We are now Sunday. When I looked at it, it looked like it'd be a little later. But any moment now I was getting, I think, 4 days from then, potentially 4 hours or days from when he said, but that would put it about now or in the next day or two. So is that still a thing? Have we gone away from that need to do that? To be honest, a lot of Trump supporters would rather we didn't have to put up with the Trump arrest, but let's have a look at that. Then there's rumors of people being vaxxed against their will, without their permission, when they go in hospitals for surgeries. Now, that rumor came out in Canada, but I suspect if they were doing it in Canada, they'd be doing it all over the world, because we know that medical associations all over the world are compromised at the top levels. That's what we've discovered in the last few years. So is that a thing? Is that something to worry about? We're going to look worldwide at that. Anywhere in the world, is that a thing? Okay, and do people need to worry about that? Or is that something like a scare tactic that's put out there so you understand what these people would do had they been able to? Okay, so there's, we're going to look at that. Then there's this, I shared on my Telegram a video clip, and a lot of people shared it even on in the comments on the website. 150 plus alleged dead after a stampede situation at a Halloween event in South Korea. Some people were wondering where it was. It was in South Korea. It wasn't in Japan, apparently. So we want to look at that. Is that a false flag? because actually when you look closely at the video footage, it actually looks like it could have been literally filmed. And the actors are doing a very bad job, actually. Yeah. So very suspicious looking film footage. And we know how they film these things now with crises actors. Let's see if any of that's true. I'm slanting towards it isn't. Once you see the film footage, you're going to know what I'm talking about. But let's just see. Is any of that true? Did that happen? Did something happen? Are they signaling to a sacrifice? Was that meant to be a sacrifice? Was that something that was meant to happen and that got stepped in on, by the white hats, the alliance? So now they're just showing us what these guys do. Yeah, look at the film footage maybe right after this video. Okay. Yeah. Just so you could have your own idea about that. Okay. So that's the lineup. Let's start with the stolen Commonwealth money. That's a universal timing card, guys. It indicates that the universe has the last say in this. This isn't something that humans can control somehow. I don't know why, but that's what it's saying. It's in the hands of the universe is what that says. And then we've got this stress card. So there's a lot of stress around. I got a feeling when you see cards like this, and then we've got the Magician and the Fool, I got a feeling that stressing about will money come back or be moved around? Will you be repaid for things? I got a feeling that won't be a thing somehow in the future when I look at these cards. I got a feeling that there will be enough abundance for all. Yeah, with that World card right underneath that Temperance. I feel like in the next 2 years, so much abundance from all different sources is coming back. It won't matter that specifically Commonwealth countries and people of Commonwealth countries specifically got the wealth back. I don't think you're going to be worried about finances. I really don't. And I've got that for a really long time. So it's unnecessary stress and worry. So to me, it's like it's saying in the next 2 years, I got a 2 with that because of the 2 cups. And this is universal timing. Healing will come to the world with that World card underneath. We'll be on a whole nother level and we won't be stressing about, did we get this money back or that money back? I feel like there'll be enough wealth to go around, and wealth being not just literally money, right? I just mean enough good health and availability to ways to stay healthy, availability to good food, which is a wealth in itself, availability to good, healthy living situations for people. Like anybody who really wants to be in a good situation will be able to. Okay. You'll have to make an effort to not be in a good situation is what I'm getting. Yeah. So it's going to be all different because of that. So that's a yes in a way, but maybe not literally. You're going to get a paycheck right from the Commonwealth Fund. Okay. It could come in different ways, and there could be no reason why you're stressing about abundance because things have changed, and the way we handle abundance, it's available to all like it was meant to be. That's what I believe is coming for us. And it looks like in the next 2 years. So it's not literally a yes, and it's not saying no. It's just saying you're going to not be worrying about it so much. So yeah, that's interesting. Let's look at the EBS martial law, that whole story about there's going to be some situation go down, creating an emergency broadcast, which creates or martial law comes down right after that, or maybe at the same time. And disclosure. right? So truth coming out maybe on people's televisions or social medias where you're getting a loop of information hours in the day, like all of that story. Is that still a thing? Is that scenario still in the timeline? Can we expect that? Because so many people are wondering. I mean, it's been talked about for years. So is that coming? And if it was, it literally have to be in the next few days, as far as I like, sometime before, let's say this, sometime before that US elections, November 8th. I mean, for it to be useful as far as I'm concerned, but let's have a look. So we got a big yes card. We got a big yes. That's good to know. And we've got the 8 of Wands. So there's all kinds of things. This is in the past, all kinds of things already set up that any one of them or all of them, so it could be different things in different places, could actually set off these things. So EBS, martial law, disclosure, all kinds of things already put into motion for that. So everything's just sitting ready. Like, think about fears around a dirty bomb in the Ukraine, them sort of putting out a dirty bomb. Then of course there's the situation that's ramping up again and has been actually for weeks and weeks around Russia. Okay, so it feels like they're gearing up for full-fledged some kind of war situation. I mean, we're already in a spiritual war, but I mean, this feels like it's just part of the movie that they're ramping these things up. There's so many things being ramped up all over the world, actually, in so many different ways that could create a situation that could end up setting off EBS, so emergency broadcast system, and martial law, so many different things. And that's what that 8 of Wands talks about, all of these different things being set up. So they're all ready to go. And when one hits the mark, or maybe they all hit the mark at the same time, boom, it all happens. And they've already been set into motion. So the whole thing's set into motion. It's just a matter of when do they land and literally set the things off. So that's a big yes on that. That's all still going to go forward. Now we've got the Strength card. Yeah, so none of it's going to be literal. So if there is a dirty bomb scare and a scare around nuclear, I don't get it actually happens. Okay, it'll be scary. And I feel like it'll last about a week of the real scary part. So the shutdown could last at least 7 days with this. A lot of people are saying a lot longer. I'm thinking shorter. I always get it's going to be a little shorter. So like there's difference of opinion there, but that's just what I get, at least 7 days. And then I feel like by then you're listening to disclosure, but there's going to be an initial EBS and a lockdown, and then disclosure, it looks like. So we've got that Strength card there, but this is part of the movie is what I'm getting. So none of these things, even if they look really scary, are actually going to be literal. Okay. Wow. That's why they keep saying this is the most incredible movie the world's ever seen. Oh my goodness. Okay. Now, Trump arrest. Okay. So according to Juan, he said it all over the place. Wednesday, Trump was going to get arrested. Now we know that timelines. To be fair, I did do a reading literally on that information, and it did look like they already filmed a Trump arrest. Okay, so maybe they decided it wasn't time to put it out just yet, or they don't know for sure if they're going to need it. They have one all ready to go. Okay, he won't actually literally be arrested, but they've filmed a Trump arrest, you guys, just so you know. That's maybe what people are talking about, or they took it off, who knows, off the shelf right at the last minute for various reasons, because we are in a situation that's like a big chess game. Okay, so certainly there was a Trump arrest filmed and is ready to go. I've got that in the cards. But will literally we see one in the public eye? Because obviously that would change a lot of things. Let's have a look. So now we've got major arcana cards. So I do feel like they wanted to let it go or show that footage or make it look like Trump was arrested. Okay, but some move on the part of the, I'm going to say the Khazarian mafia and or the cabal, some move on their part stopped them from doing it, or they decided it wasn't a good time to do it because of some situation created by these guys. So these guys still have some moves left, it looks like, at least one or two moves left on the part of the Khazarian mafia. Let's see. So we've got the Queen of Swords, the Sun. And yeah, they're going to hold on to that footage. Okay, that almost looks like it might not need to happen after all. So that's a very confusing situation that literally every time we read about it, it's a yes, it's a no, it's a yes. I feel like for now, they might have taken that off the table. Wow. Wow. It's still sitting though. They filmed it. It's ready to go if they need it. I feel like let's all try to manifest that not happening, because to me, I feel like that's too many steps backwards. You know, I get they got a reason for that, but I wonder if there's another way, and it looks like they might have found a different way to do things. So that's still a yes, no situation. I'm going with no right this minute. I'm going with no. Okay, wow, that's news to me actually, and that's actually good news because I really don't want to see Trump get arrested. Okay, rumors that people are being vaccinated against their will and or even unbeknownst to them when they go in for procedures like when they're put under, you know, or they're getting surgeries. Okay, and this came out in Canada as if it was happening in Canada. Is that an alarm bell? Is that actually happening? Is that something you have to worry about? You know, obviously, for the last couple of years, we've known that, and certainly I've been talking about it, and lots of people have, how dangerous hospitals are. Personally, I wouldn't go near one if I could possibly help it. I mean, they're like a death sentence as far as I'm concerned, especially, you know, in the last few years. And maybe they've always been really dangerous. And a lot of things that you end up in the hospital for were created, by the way, by big pharma. So a lot of your situations, you can take everything back to how medicine, modern medicine, has taken over and moved off any kind of healer and or naturopathy. All of that's been, the name's been smeared of all of these natural herbs and remedies and ways of healing. You know, there's been an agenda for probably hundreds of years, certainly at least 100 years, to smear that and put it in the background and rise up the butchery of what's known as modern medicine. And I know once in a while it comes in real handy, like when you get put back together after a big accident, whatever. There are some things that actually work in that field, okay? But it's literally been at the very top levels been taken over, and the agendas that go on in, you know, hospitals have been killing people. Certainly in the last 3 years, that's been discovered, you know. So yeah, that rumor sounds fairly believable. Let's have a look. Interesting. This was initially upside down. Yeah, so that rumor right off the bat's being put out by what I call the White Hats or the Alliance. So for lack of better word here, the good guys, okay, the good guys put that rumor out. Interesting. And we've got, I feel like a lot of people, so see, these two were upside down. So people agreed to put out a falsehood. Okay, so people agreed to put out a falsehood, working at these places, agreed to put that falsehood out on behalf of the good guys because that was going on or was going to be the agenda. It got stepped in on, and now they're just outing. They're just outing, like what happens a lot. They were going to do that, and it got outed by people that maybe actually are infiltrated into that medical system on behalf of the good guys. So spies, double agents, and they've reported back to, and that's been stopped. So the medical systems have been infiltrated by the good guys, and things are being reported, and now they're being outed from the inside. So that's what that story is all about. So it's not true, not right now, but it was going to be true. That was going to be the case. So, wow, interesting. And that sounds a lot like that Paul Pelosi story. Okay, so as we hear more and more about it, what I got in the quick chats, in case you hadn't seen it, was that was put out by the good guys. And there was confusing reasons why. I didn't nail why. Probably if I'd have spent more time on it. But now by today, it looks like they're outing his, kind of perverse life and who he really is, and really what that family's all about, and the cover-ups, and basically they're outing him. So it seems like a diversion in a way, because they're only outing him to normies, because we know he's been rounded up, or a lot of us know. I believe he was rounded up a long time ago. So even outing him right now, that the whole thing was made up just to out lifestyle and let you in on who these people really are and what they've been up to. Wow. So our last thing we want to look at is this apparently potential sacrifice of 100 plus, up to 150, maybe even more people supposedly, allegedly died in a Halloween event. Interesting. Okay, and then you see the film footage, and all these different people are performing CPR on these people, and it looks incredibly suspicious, like a bad movie, almost like a farce. Okay, but is any of that true? Did people die in a Halloween event in South Korea? Is that true? We'll start there. Interesting. That was upside down. Interesting. There's a big yes there, and a surrender. Well, that's interesting. 3 of Cups there. 3 of Cups there. Interesting. Wow. Soft yes and yes. So yes and a soft yes. So there's more to it. Okay. So they want you to believe yes. Okay, and surrender. They want that story to fly. Okay, so they want this. This is weird. It doesn't look true, but they want it to fly. So we've got a yes, but that was upside down. So they want you to believe yes. So they want people to believe it. Okay. And it somehow stems back to some kind of, this could be even the party substance. So that's interesting. And, or maybe the idea of sacrifice. Maybe the idea of sacrifice comes to mind. Here we've got the surrender. So they want you to believe that they did. Okay. But actually they did not, because these are too good. Like this card underneath that was upside down originally. I believe it's a no, but they would like it to fly for the normies that it's a yes. So again, so they're trying to out something, and it's probably about rituals and practices by the dark cult. So I think they're going to point back at this as something they do. Because remember that big concert where a lot of people died in a stampede, apparently, and died of heart failure, et cetera, et cetera. That could have been actually a big, I'm starting to think that was a false flag too. And I can't remember. I probably read on it several times, but I don't remember what I got. But it looks like a lot like what happened here. This feels like it's something they want to out these guys with. They're trying to out them down the road around what they do. Okay. So let's now ask the film footage of the situation where people were performing CPR or in some instances on people's legs. Look closely at the film. Let's have a look at it. Was that filmed or was that actually going on? Was there a situation where they were at, that was real, or was that a filmed movie, that part? Because that was really, so it looks like the situation of all of those people dying looks like they want you to believe it, or they want the normies to think it was true, but it actually doesn't look like it was true. It's an outing. So many things they're doing are outing this bunch, the bad bunch. Let's have a look. Was that film footage actual or was it false? Like, was it created? Okay, that was a movie and an illusion. Oh yeah, we've got every illusion card here. That was a fake video. That was a fake video. Yeah, people agreed to do that. That card was going to come upside down too. So people agreed on the back channel. So we're talking about, yeah. So that was faked by the white hats. They want to out these guys on every level. So all of these things are preparations to out them on every level. This has been going on for a couple of years, you guys. Almost every time I look at things like this, it's a false flag. Wow. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for watching my video, everybody. Take care. And yeah, let's send everybody ravens here in the next couple of hours and days. Because yeah, things might be heating up here. Certainly between now and the election, something's got to give, because I just can't see it. I just can't see it actually going all the way to an election in the US. But be safe and love each other. Try not to fall for fear porn. Okay. And if I don't answer your question, really look carefully. Was the question already answered? Because I've been seeing a lot of things people are asking that I might have talked about several other times. So just double check. Maybe I already answered your question. Bye-bye.